It's just us again.
It's just us. Cordell's been a busy boy lately.
Busy school man. Living life.
Busy schoolboy finishing up busy stuff. And we're proud of him.
We are proud of him and we love him in this junkie house.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
That doesn't have to be the transition, but we can. Have
Well,
that
I feel like,
transition.
no. Let's let that be because I feel like an earnest cold open is so out of left field for us that we could not find anything else. You know,
Yeah.
like.
And there's going to be a long pause and then the intro music. So it's going to seem like an accident, but it'll be. Hearing this
like
part of the intro, you're realizing it's not. And that we're so smart and funny.
Yeah. We have our finger on the fucking pulse. And
it's
now we're
pulsing.
here. It's pulsing, but you got a good pulse going. Okay?
You're healthy.
You got a good pulse. You're healthy. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think what's happened recently in the world that's not like
sad and
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like the Ethan from H3H3 and Hassan debate. That was really just an Ethan crash out.
I've been seeing clips, but I've not sat down to watch the whole thing. And it's kind of depressing just to see the clips because I'm like, man, I don't know who this person, like, I don't really know who Ethan is. I kind of know who Hassan is a bit more.
Yeah.
And
that's very
And
fair.
so yeah, but it seems like two people who used to be friends who are now having a major fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is trying to like help the other one realize like, dude, you need to calm down. You need to like think about what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. For a quick rundown, because I've been watching H3H3 forever.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch their podcast when it was in their first room that was like purple on the walls and kind of just a Joe Rogan studio. Yeah, basically Ethan has just like been crashing out, and yeah, he used to have a podcast with Hassan called Leftovers. And then due to the Israel Palestine stuff going on, like it all fell apart. Now, because of stuff Ethan has said, even though he has been like, yo, I think what's going on is a genocide and is wrong. He's also said a lot of stuff that has been pro-Israel that makes him seem like a Zionist.
Mm-hmm.
And Hassan is like, hey, the whole point is there's a genocide, right? Just say that and stop saying the weird stuff. And Ethan is insanely focused and obsessed with Hassan about this whole thing and is like, we used to be friends, but now I'm going to make hours of content against you because fuck you.
Which
it's
is
sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess there's a lot more, but we're not going to go into it because it's sad. And Ethan is crashing
It's sad
out.
and unfortunate. Instead, I'm going to bring up something I have been playing pretty much for the first time. Skyrim, which I had played. Okay, here is when I say pretty much for the first time, because here is what has happened before.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
I make a character. I get to the point where, you know, those standing stones are where you go and you pick one and you click it. I get to there and then I think this game is boring and I turn it off and walk away.
Hey, I think that's fair.
And so lately, my beloved wife is a big fan of Skyrim and has put a lot of hours into it. And she said, what you need to do is play through like get to a quest line and play through it. And
Yeah.
so I did. I played through the Wizards College up in Winterhold. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Played through. Now I'm about finished with the Thieves Guild quest. It's also pretty fun. I think I've got like one more thing to do. And I think I've discovered something, which is pretty unfortunate due to the amount of hours I've put into it. I don't think I like Skyrim.
What? Okay. What makes you say that?
Yeah.
Why do you think you don't like
it? There are some, the way I was talking to Olivia about it last night, and I think there are some what I would call quality of life issues with Skyrim.
Okay.
That I could mod away, but they've also made it impossible to mod on the Xbox where I'm playing. Like I went to the menu and everything, and it's just like, hey, this doesn't work anymore. And I was like, well, that
amazing.
sucks.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
And I even looked for like, cause I was having a bug last night. And Olivia was like, well, you know, that there should be a bug report thing. And I went, and that's disabled. So I can't even report the bug that was happening.
What version are you playing? Just to be specific.
Whatever the most recent one is.
Okay.
It is the Skyrim Game of the Year edition. So it's got all the DLC. Edition? I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
There's so many versions of Skyrim.
And you know what? Less than a month. I guarantee you they're going to relaunch it. Switch 2 edition Skyrim is coming, and it's going to be just as horrible. It's going to be the same game.
I'm so sad that you're correct about this.
But there's stuff that I just hate in games that exists in all Bethesda games that are always a sticking point for me. Okay. But it is especially bothersome in Skyrim for some reason, which is encumbrance. I hate that as a mechanic. I think it's so dumb. I don't like people use it in D&D. Props to you. I hate it. If you're playing in one of my D&D campaigns, you're never going to have to worry about how much stuff you're carrying. Because like, what do you mean? That and I don't like quest lines that essentially boil down to go back and forth to the same 3 places over and over and over to talk to the same few people. I just get really annoyed. So it's fair. Just stuff like that. Yeah. And those are mostly the big things, but also the bug I was having last night, because this made me like, I've never wanted to like throw a controller, but this got me real close because I was getting so fed up with it. I was in a room with a lot of chests to unlock. And the lock picking thing, you know what? I'm going to say it. Lock picking minigame, fun. I like that.
Yeah.
Very
I
good.
like all of them. The one in Oblivion is a little bit different. But
yes, I played a little bit of Oblivion, and I'm going to say it. I think all the Elder Scrolls mini games, I'm here for it. I like that part of it.
Yeah, hacking and Fallout.
Yes, yeah, so good. All the good ones. What would happen is I would go to unlock the chest, and if the lockpick would break, instead of just doing this little thing where it shows the lockpick break and then pulling out a new one and getting it ready and putting it in, it would just exit me out of the screen completely, which for Skyrim, I've learned what that means is that the point in which the chest unlocks is also reset to another random point. So any progress you had from learning, like, okay, it was wiggling a little bit there, completely reset, completely gone.
That is disgusting.
So I was trying to unlock these chests, and it was like resetting every 5 seconds, essentially. And I was like, I hate this so much. And Olivia was like, well, if you close the game and reopen it, that might go away. No, it persisted, and it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just that and like quality of life stuff. It just bothers me, you know?
That's fair. I'm not one to talk because Oblivion is way chunkier, and Oblivion is my favorite. Like, not only is there encumbrance, you have to repair your items and you have to recharge your magic items. Like,
I actually don't even.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. I actually I don't even mind that in Skyrim. You have to recharge them, and I was like, okay, you know what? As a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom lover, where your items just break and you have to go just find new ones completely, I'm fine with that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. You know what we haven't done?
But that is
though.
What have we not done?
We haven't read reviews that are really bad, so guess the movie.
Oh, heck yes.
Welcome back.
We haven't done this in a while. This was like a staple.
Yeah.
This is a staple.
I used to do it all the time, and now I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to read a 5-star review from Letterboxd, and Caleb is going to have to guess what movie this is. Ding dong ding bing bong. This is our first one. Is Maeve okay?
Well, Maeve, I hope you are okay, and thank you for writing the review.
Thank you very much. You can cast a charm spell on any Frenchman just by name-dropping a French philosopher. I once dodged some gambling debts in Monaco by talking about the violence of the archive.
Interesting. Can dodge French philosophers. That's interesting to bring up. That's an interesting part of this review, and I'm curious if it has anything to really do with the movie.
It actually does. I will give you that.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. Here you go.
I'm gonna need another review because I can't think of any movies with
That is totally fine. This is gonna be a twofer. 2 different reviews. Our first one is from pet_Olay.
Thank you, Pet Olay.
And the second one will be from Teepwick Mary.
Thank you, Teepwick Mary.
Okay, that first one is US Propaganda 2.0. And that second one is, did we really need a second movie? Also for a class.
Whoa, okay. Because when you said US Propaganda 2.0.
Mm-hmm. What is that? What's your brain coming up with?
My brain went to a few places.
Okay.
One of them was Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Which is kind of anti-America propaganda when you actually engage with it.
But if you're a dummy dumbo, a lot of people.
If you're not diving past skin deep, you're not gonna like get it.
Yeah.
But you know, did we really need this 2.0? That made me not be able to really think of it, man.
Yeah, just like the first one, how it is involved with the movie, that 2.0 is accurate to the movie. It does. And I mean in that second one, it's a second movie. It's 2.0.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to think, like, I was like, this has got to be a sequel of some sort. And maybe even has 2.0 in the title.
It does not. I will tell you that. I'll give you that for free.
Okay. So then I gotta think about this. And now sequels with America propaganda. I don't know. I'm gonna just throw a guess out there.
Okay.
And say we're looking at like Red Dragon, maybe, or possibly hold. Maybe like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Lots of red, white, and blue. That's the second one, I think. Or is the second one Across the Spider-Verse? Or the other one? I do not know. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna.
We give you two more because they're also tied. And this will also show that the question I asked you before recording does have implications for this.
Mm-hmm.
Cage Royale is a brutal game. And also, Nicolas Cage is in your walls.
Whoa.
If you need another, I do have one.
See, this is the I'm bad at this game is what I'm realizing now, or I'm very rusty on it. Because National Treasure 2 comes to mind as a sequel that stars Nicolas Cage. That would be my guess.
You're correct.
Yeah, I was like, what French? Well, I haven't seen that movie since I was like a child. So I was like that would be my guess, but what does a French philosopher have to do with
Do you
this?
remember the plot of this at all? I watched it recently. I
So
came home
vaguely.
from work and Fielding was watching the first National Treasure. And so I finished that and then we were like, let's go number 2. But yeah, what do you remember?
I remember his dad
Yes.
was in it. And I believe they referenced his mom.
You do meet her mom. His mom. You do meet the mom.
And then other than that,
Can I run you through the
I'm
plot?
like looking at run me through the plot because I'm like, ooh, this is
So it all begins the night Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Nicolas Cage's character, Benjamin Franklin Gates, his ancestor, Thomas Gates, was like this master code cracker. So John Wilkes Booth came to him to crack this code. Okay. He came to him that night, goes, kills Abraham Lincoln. We go to the future. And this like descendant of, I forget what his name is, but this descendant of somebody else comes up and is like, your ancestor actually helped kill Abraham Lincoln. I have a little note from my ancestor that says that you're a bad guy. And Nicolas Cage and his dad cannot have this. They're like, you have destroyed our name and destroyed the reputation of our ancestors. So the whole thing is them going throughout, chasing, finding, doing another puzzles like the first one, except this time they're going across the world for some reason to find El Dorado, the city of gold. Because if they find the city of gold, I guess that means Thomas Gates was right with the code that there was treasure. So he didn't do the bad thing. There's also very important to the entire series. He like kidnaps the president. Ben does. Nicolas Cage to find out about the president's book, to like figure out where he can find it, which the president's book is a secret book that only the president knows about, and it has presidential secrets.
Is this the one where they like it's in the desk and they have to like do basically like a giant puzzle with the desk in the Oval Office?
That is part of
the first one.
That is in the second one, because they go to England. Because the Resolute desk in England, in the like, whatever, the desk in the Oval Office is a twin desk to a desk in Buckingham Palace. Weird, crazy shit.
Okay.
And they need to get the president's book because when they go to the Oval Office, that part is empty. When they open it up, they don't, the thing they were trying to find that was in there,
It's gone.
it's gone. So, but it's in the president's book. But the president is like, yo, look at page 47. When you look at this book that I told you where it is, look at page 47. And so he does. We don't get to see it. But at the very end of the movie, like the president is like, we see another interaction with him. And he's like, oh, if it isn't the guy that saved me and after showing me a tunnel and didn't kidnap me, like does a whole wink, like legally, you know, we're clear now.
Yeah.
He's also goes, hey, did you see page 47? And Nicolas Cage goes, yes, I did. And the president goes, do you think you can help me with that? And Nicolas Cage is like, I think I can.
Where is National Treasure 3? Page 47.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I am saying. Now, what we could do, unless you wanted to talk about something else, we could theorize and we could make up National Treasure 3.
Sammy, what if I told you I know what's on page 47?
What's on page 47?
It's obvious that page 47 is a list of all the presidents. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, oh, yeah, they write down their name or whatever. No. It's all of them into the future.
Oh.
And it's plotted out. And so that president is like, how did they know? How did they know all the names to write down?
Okay.
And then it's Nicolas Cage. And then it becomes a political thriller. Because then they realize, hey, this next name that's coming up, the list ends after it. That means maybe America ends.
And the last one is Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Exactly.
And so this is also, just to add a little bit, right? So this is, National Treasure is very clearly Nicolas Cage being Indiana Jones.
Right. I remember thinking, because it was one of the many Indiana Jones clones that was coming out around that time.
100%. So what happened with Indiana Jones that made Indiana Jones jump the shark?
In my opinion, it was in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull where they ended the movie by saying aliens are real, by the way.
So National Treasure, aliens are real, by the way.
Oh, no.
The page is aliens dictating who the future. So we don't know it's aliens. But by the end, we find out that it is the aliens that are dictating the presidency. And it is the end of the world.
So then, but here's the thing. Do we want this to be because he's on the list, they are working to get Benjamin Franklin Gates elected? Or do we want it to be they see that it's ending and then realize they have to make him lose? And then it becomes a political thriller / borderline Nicolas Cage style comedy of showing him being an awful person and somehow getting elected anyway. And it's also a parody of how our current president got elected despite being the worst person imaginable.
Now, here's the thing. That would make it a good movie. And the thing about National Treasure is they're not good movies.
So then it becomes them getting Benjamin Franklin Gates getting elected, even though he does not really have a political career.
Yeah, exactly what you said, except it ends with the world exploding still.
Which then leads us to National Treasure 4. Okay? Now hear me out.
Stuck in space.
Hear me out. Benjamin Franklin Gates survives. He's still there. Still Nicolas Cage. You know who else survives? Somehow.
He's the president.
That little best friend of his, played by Justin Bartha. Good old Riley.
And then his girl is Abigail Chase, his girlfriend. I guess wife.
She doesn't survive, and there's a reason for this, okay? So
Okay.
Riley somehow survives because he's the vice president. He was like, I'm just going to pick
Yes.
my best friend to be my vice.
And he wrote a book, so they're like, yes, books.
Yes, have a smart man be the vice. And then the world ends, and then it's just the two of them and a bunch of aliens. And then the aliens say, hey, we heard that you guys solved mysteries on your planet. We have a mystery on our planet if you want to come help out. And then it's Ben and Riley up in space. And the reason the girl doesn't survive, that's right, Nicolas Cage, sex with an alien.
Yo, he would. He would.
He
Though.
would? I think he would want that. Are you familiar with, it was a movie series turned drama series like show called The Librarians?
I do not think I have.
Okay. So it was another Indiana Jones clone.
Okay.
And there were 3 movies and then 4 seasons of the show. The movies came out in 2004, 2006, 2008. And it's essentially Indiana Jones, but they're all librarians. And magic is like real from the beginning.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
Excalibur is a magical sword that follows around the next Arthur. And Arthur's spear is a big thing in the first book. And yeah.
So basically Latin Club.
Basically Latin Club. But it's got like a surprisingly good cast. Like it's a bunch of comedy greats. Like Noah Weil plays the main guy, which he was mostly known for ER at the time, and he was like an Emmy-winning actor. And then Kyle MacLachlan is also there. And if I'm remembering right, Bob Hope plays like the main librarian guy. It was one of those things that was for some reason on a lot on TNT when I was a kid, and my parents would just put it on whenever they could. And we watched it. We got to the point where by the 3rd movie, we were all watching it the night it came out, and we were really excited for the librarians.
Sometimes they're just so good. Apparently, Bruce Campbell plays Santa.
Yes. Also, it's Bob Newhart, not Bob Hope. I'm sorry for I get them confused a lot.
They're both Bobs. You're fine.
Yeah, but like, I feel like you need to watch these movies. This could be a Junk House thing because this is like, there's one section that I still think of. And I actually referenced it to Olivia the other day because Olivia and I were talking about how it is kind of bullshit. How there are so many people that are like, when they're talking about a couple that recently got together. Yeah. There is this weird thing. It may just be a Southern thing, but I'm sure you've heard this before, Sammy, where talking about the couple, they will just imply that the guy must be ugly or something, because they'll be like, man, that guy's really punching above his weight, don't you think? And like, you can tell they're trying to be like, man, he's with a really pretty person. But so they're like, just downing the guy for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So Olivia and I were talking about how like, it's gotten to the point where even like, I did that to myself. Like I do that to myself. Like I will say about myself, like, yeah, I'm really, out kicking my league over here. And then we talked about how there was this weird idea of like leagues that popped up in the 2000s and like the 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And it's like, it's bullshit, but it's so pervasive to this day. We're discussing that. And there is a line in The Librarians, I believe in the first movie, where our main guy, Noah Weil, is on a plane and he has to jump out of the plane. And then the sexy girl of the movie, because there's always one in an Indiana Jones clone, is like trying to tell him, and like he doesn't know that she's in on it. So he thinks she's trying to hit on him, but she's just trying to give him information about the mission he's on, but he doesn't know she's involved. And so he's like, well, you're being rather forward. And then she says, I burned into my brain. She said, oh, I'm not hitting on you. I am way out of your league. If I'm so far out of your league that if my league exploded, your league wouldn't hear it for 3 days. And like, it's stuck in my brain. So like that is in this movie. It's there. I need to rewatch these movies because they were not good from what I remember, but I loved them.
Yeah, holy moly.
Yeah, so there's 3 movies, just in case any of you listeners out there are like, I don't remember The Librarian, Quest for the Spear, 2004. The Librarian, Return to King Solomon's Mines, 2006. And last up, Librarian, Curse of the Judas Chalice, 2008. I forgot. These are all like extremely Christian, by the way. So they're all like very, very much that.
Jesus. Is that
Is
that why y'all saw it originally? Because you're like, oh, wait, Jesus.
Probably.
Wait, Jesus.
Jesus. It's about Jesus. It's Indiana Jones, but even more Jesus. Even though Indiana Jones is like also kind of Christian, except for the second movie and the fourth movie.
Actually, you're right. Yeah. What?
Because it's the
Jesus.
Yeah. It's the Ark of the Covenant, and then the the chalice, the cup. Jesus' Yeti
Supper,
tumbler.
Yeah. Stanley Cup. Stanley, they're more.
Jesus' Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm sorry. I
right.
think you were actually right now that I'm thinking about it, because the whole bit of that is that it's the lesser. It was a wooden cup. It wasn't a beautiful cup. So like the Stanley Cup is the top tier.
Which is why it is not even a Yeti tumbler. It is an Ozark Trail 16-ounce coffee cup.
Yep.
It is that good old Walmart brand Ozark Trail.
Ozark freaking Trail.
Ozark Trail. So this is this is like when people talk about Indiana Jones, my brain always thinks The Librarian. That is like, which it should be the other way around, but oh man.
Hey, if Librarian is superior, I don't know what to tell you.
That's the thing. I don't think it is.
Oh.
I rewatched the original 3 Indiana Jones movies recently, and I just want to say all 3 of them are so good. Unironically, all 3 of them are great. Maybe the second one kind of loses the plot on what an Indiana Jones movie should be a little bit, but that's okay.
I haven't seen them in
so
a hot
good.
minute. I need to rewatch them.
Gotta rewatch them. You gotta rewatch them. I genuinely believe Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect movie, timing wise. Like, so perfectly paced. So good.
A small pivot. You know what's also really good? I don't know if you've seen it, but The Last of Us TV show.
I watched the first few episodes of season 1 up through, I cannot remember what episode number it was, but it was the Nick Offerman episode.
Okay.
And I cried my eyes out and then thought to myself, maybe I need to take a little break because that was emotionally devastating.
It is a lot. And it's so gay, and I love it. The
It's
show
so good.
is really good though. I caught up recently because season
Mhm.
2 came out, and I'm gonna watch it with the roomies.
Ooh.
Do you know anything about the story of The Last of Us 2?
I know a little bit. I never got to play the games because I've never been a PlayStation owner outside of the PlayStation 2 for
Fair.
a bit. And I had a PlayStation 4 for a little bit, but that was really only just to play Shadow of the Colossus and Sly Cooper.
Fair.
Here's what little I know.
Okay.
Cordyceps start a zombie apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
but like fungal zombies,
Yeah.
which is a really cool visual. I'm not like it's so visually cool.
And there's some fun
Joel.
guys.
They are some fun guys.
Okay. Sorry.
Joel loses his daughter due to zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Ellie,
Played by Troy Baker. Not the daughter. Joel
played by,
Troy
the
Baker,
original,
okay.
Troy Baker.
And Pedro
then
Pascal.
Ellie is a different girl, but Joel finds her and just kind of takes her under his wing, but it's kind of a standoffish guy, and it's like, doesn't want to get too close and then possibly get hurt again.
Yeah.
And then they get to a place after a whole bunch of stuff. I think they lose one girl on the way because she gets bit by a zombie that was with them. And then they get to like a place where it's like, hey, we're trying to cure everything. We're trying to cure the zombie virus. That is the amount that I know.
Okay. How much more do you want to know? Are you going to watch the show?
I feel like I'm going to watch the show.
Okay, good. Good. Then watch the show. It's real good.
I'll watch the show. We'll come back after we both watch season 2, and we'll have a little moment where we're like, okay, let's talk about this real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
And I can go back to tell you the jokes that we've been this group over here, because I've like seen. I haven't played the second one, but I have like watched people play it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, Ellie in the show is played by Bella Ramsey, and in the game is played by Ashley Johnson. We love Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker. They make cameos. They are cameo characters in the show.
Ashley Johnson was in my favorite show when I was a child. Fun fact.
Surprisingly, every Critical Role member was a part of my childhood in some way. Like, Travis and Laura were both in Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Liam was Gara.
Ashley Johnson played, I believe it was Gretchen Grundler in Recess, which is an incredible show.
Wow.
Loved that show.
I have not thought, I didn't know. Wow.
Everything's locked away up in this brain.
Oh, I lost my key. Fuck. But yeah, Last of Us, real good. Also will make you cry even more. I think the gay episode, the Nick Offerman episode, is episode like 2 or 3. Just to remind
something
you,
like there, yeah.
Because you would have already learned this. Ellie is for some reason immune.
That's right. That's right.
So that's why they're traveling. They're trying to get to the Fireflies across the country because they think with Ellie's help, they can cure America.
Find a cure, yeah. Which is smart, honestly.
True.
They should do it.
I really like Last of Us because even in the games, it does my favorite thing for zombie apocalypse shows, which at this point is kind of overplayed. but it's
Mhm.
okay. It's the zombies are not the monsters. The humans are. Like we are the monsters.
We are the monsters.
We always are. And zombies are just gonna be like, oh sheesh, oh fuck, what's going on here? You're a-
Switching.
Yeah, you're a gamer.
Huh. I am a gamer. What's up?
What were you gonna say? You can do your.
I was gonna say, switching up. There's a something that happened recently that we had Nosferatu back in
Mhm.
December, which was only like 6 months ish ago, 5 or 6 months ish, and then we recently had another amazing vampire movie.
Banger.com.
And I feel like we're going to discuss it with Cordell some, but I just really
Yeah.
want to quick for the listeners, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the one and the only Sinners,
You need to
go see it now. It is that's a perfect movie. That's another perfect one.
What is your favorite? And we'll ask this with Cordell. But what is your favorite like genre of monster movie? So like werewolf, vampire, alien, shapeshifter, like those.
That's
kind
a
of monsters.
really good question.
I think for me, to give you a little bit of time, I think I am a vampire. I'm a vampire lover. Vampire or like vampire, shapeshifter, werewolf are my top 3 probably. Maybe
I think for me,
maybe alien instead of werewolf. I'm sorry.
I think for me, this is specific, but
Okay, fair.
big guy,
Big guy, big man. So like Texas Chainsaw.
big guy, big man.
Or like Halloween.
More like Halloween, Friday the 13th.
But not like Godzilla man. Big guy, but like big man.
Kaiju's number 2.
Okay.
Kaiju's number 2. Even though kaiju movies most of the time aren't horror.
Yeah, we'll take those out. We'll stick.
So we'll say when it's actual horror, shapeshifter number 2.
Okay.
Probably vampire number 3.
Okay. Bet. I think Sinners helped solidify vampires as my favorite. I'm just a sucker for like, I think vampires, all of these have the possibility. Some of my favorite stories and things are science fantasy. So like science, but there's also like there's space travel, but there's also magic. There's also like crazy magic and shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of the monsters have potential to be both. To lean a more scientific. But like I really like vampires because like you can have full on folk magic of like, yeah, they can't come in unless you invite them. The sun. Wow, we want. But you could also be like, there's also just this alien race that is like they need blood. They can't be in the sun because their planet is trash. But no, vampires are just cool, and I think I mainly like the folk magic type bullshit side. And vampires
did you get to see Nosferatu?
I love
Robert
Nosferatu.
Eggers. It's so good.
It's so.
That's
good.
what I feel like. I feel like between Nosferatu and Sinners, those are the 2 types of vampires that I really like. Where it is the old folk magic and it is the like this is a immortal being that is not pretty to look at, like it's a disgusting thing,
actual monster
versus Sinners, let's be real, sexy vampires but terrifying still. Like very scary,
dude.
I feel like when there was, and I know this is a common complaint, but when Twilight made vampires good guys,
Mm-hmm.
that ruined vampires for a bit. I feel like there was a lot of people that were like, and ruined monsters for a bit, because there were a lot of people that out of nowhere were like, what if we make the monsters the good guys?
There was like underworld series where like the good guys were the vampires and they were fighting werewolves
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I specifically when Twilight made them sexy, and like Underworld they were sexy, but like at least they were kind of I don't know, they were sexy. I don't know what I'm saying. Because who
Yeah.
was the lead? Have you ever seen Underworld?
No, have not.
They're so campy, but they're incredible. It's like vampires versus werewolves, but there's also like a hybrid that comes out that the vampires have to protect. It's
I get Underworld movies confused with Resident Evil movies, like the live action Resident Evil and like early Tomb Raider.
I think that's fair.
Mm.
I think that's fair. It's a Kate Beckinsale is the lead. Let me send an image, but yeah, she's this came out like around. I feel like The Matrix. Like this feels very heavily inspired by The Matrix.
I mean, the same way there were so many Indiana Jones copies there for a bit, there were a lot of essentially Matrix clones there for a bit, where it maybe not have been like, let's take the themes of the Matrix, but it was like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that poster.
Not the themes of the Matrix, but the aesthetics is what I believe you're about to say.
The like cyber aesthetic.
Yeah, this was cyber vampires.
Cool as hell. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Dude, also
now
Hellboy.
Earlier
Sorry.
Hellboy did have a little bit of that Matrix aesthetic, but it did enough to make it its own.
Just like, well, he a big guy and he got big hand.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not horror, but
no, I love Hellboy. Hellboy Army of Darkness is probably in my top 10 movies.
Yeah, I need to watch the new one, even though I've heard it's really bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one. But earlier you said I'm a gamer, and I'm curious what that was going to lead to.
Well, you had told me something, at least a couple days ago, yesterday,
maybe
about a Mario game. That yesterday you sent it to me yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Caleb is a gamer, and specifically a Mario Kart gamer.
Yeah, I still don't know if I'm should be proud of this or not.
I think so. I would say yes.
Yeah, I somehow accidentally 100% completed Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus all the booster courses.
I think that's sick, especially by accident, because that means you weren't like no lifing it. It just
because like it took me years. Yeah, like I've had Mario Kart 8 since it came out for Switch, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or whatever they called it.
Did it make sense?
So like, yeah, like I've had it forever. Yeah, I just really like Mario Kart, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is a thing I don't think I've ever told people, but like Olivia knows it because obviously like we live together, and but like if I have to stay awake at night for work, I play Mario Kart and I just play through the Grand Prix, and I just kind of do that. So I guess somehow just going through, I'd beaten them all in like gold star, because like that, I think that's where I got the cutscene. Was I just when you gold star? Do you know like the
if you get first place in every race in a Grand Prix, you get 3 stars, and then you can like blah 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 blah. So have you done like every CC as well?
Yeah. Like I did all went all the way through 50, and then did I not intentionally, because I was like jumping around to do them, because I was like, change it up. You don't just always play 200 and go crazy. But
Yeah.
my favorite, I will say, this is another maybe L opinion. I think 200 is when it becomes not as fun, and it becomes too much like you're really focusing on getting stuff right.
Yeah. If you're playing with
but-
others, I'm 150 is
150 or 150 mirror are the two that I'm
Mhm.
like, those are the fun, because mirror just throws in enough that you're like, all right, this is a little crazy to deal with.
Wait, this isn't
'cause
the
you're
same. What's going on?
This isn't the same. Why am I driving backwards right now? Yeah, so I did 100% Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And
I think
yeah.
that's gamer as hell. I think that's awesome.
yeah, I'm like, it was very funny because like Olivia was sitting next to me and there was like, unskippable credits. And I was like, no, well, normally I can skip these. And she was like, well, are you hitting all the buttons? I was like, I've hit every button. I don't know why this isn't skippable. And I've like hit combinations of buttons. And she was like, well, do you want to just like, I don't know. And then she like Googled it and she was like, Caleb, did you 100% Mario Kart? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, it's like unskippable cutscene that happen, or unskippable credits happen when you 100% it. And I was like, well, I guess I've 100%ed Mario Kart.
What was the final Grand Prix?
The final Grand Prix was on the booster courses. It was the one with Coconut Mall. So it was like the
Ooh.
Golden Mushroom Cup
Yeah.
at 150cc mirror was the final Grand Prix. And you know what? I was just playing more recently because I wanted to get my skills back up for Mario Kart World Tour.
Yeah.
Or is it Mario Kart World
Just World.
Tour or just World? Okay. World Tour is the iPhone one that
Mhm.
sucks.
That's trash.
So yeah, Mario Kart. I was just trying to get my skills back up for Mario Kart World, and now that's happened.
You're
I'm
fully ready.
Yeah, I want to make sure this is out there. The listeners, when we stream in the future and we play Mario Kart, this does not mean I'm the best at Mario Kart. I'm still not great at it. It just means I'm good enough to beat a bunch of computers at Mario Kart. Which means probably a lot of y'all are going to kick my ass at Mario Kart.
What is your favorite Mario Kart course?
I was thinking about this yesterday because I was like, which ones would I want to bring into Mario Kart World?
Mm-hmm.
Wario's Gold Mine is definitely in my top few tracks.
Top
and
5.
Easy top 5. And oh man, I'm gonna look up a list, and maybe this can be Mario Kart 8. Yeah, I can literally see where I googled Mario Kart 8 Deluxe unskippable credits. Tracks. There we go. Thank you, Samantha, for sending me a list of tracks to look at.
Well, you're looking. My favorites, my tops are Shroom Ridge #1, Peach Gardens #2. These are both from the DS game. Yeah, probably maybe like an Excite Bike after that. That's a fun
Excite Bike's very
most
fun.
recent. No, instead of Excite Bike, I really like the toilet one, Squeaky Clean Sprint. I like the bathroom one. It's fun.
I genuinely, I like Squeaky Clean Sprint. It's fun. It's got so many good trick spots.
It really does. It really does.
Okay. Here is a short list of some that I really love. Obviously, I've already said Wario's Gold Mine.
Mhm.
I really love Yoshi's Island.
Okay.
I think it has a lot of it has some really fun paths to try. And it's just so good and fun. And I like ones where they play with what a Mario Kart track can be a lot.
Same. Yeah.
And with Yoshi's Island, it has a lot of flying. There's one cloud that it doesn't tell you this right out of the way, but if you hit the cloud, it creates a new track above. That's like a
Ooh.
track made of clouds that you can ride down. That saves you a little bit of time depending on how you are. And I'm a sucker for any Bowser's Castle track. All of them are incredible. And number one track for me, Mute City.
The F-Zero tracks are both incredible.
Yeah,
And,
like Mute City
top
and
5 for me.
Yeah, Cloud Top Cruise is also pretty up. That's the thing. There's no bad ones, honestly.
For real.
There's no bad Mario Kart track. There are just some that are more fun than others, and some that are a skill test. Like Excite Bike Arena is a skill test. It is, can you path this correctly? Because it's easy. It's an easy pathing. But are you willing to do it correctly to win?
Yeah. Baby Park is just chaos.
Yeah. Baby Park is chaos. 200cc Baby Park is
that's the streets I grew up on.
That's yeah. Well,
Hell.
my 200cc Baby Park is the Mario Kart equivalent of
Dark
Everyone
Souls
Plays Fox Final Destination.
Yeah. There we go. Fox No
which
Items
is
Final Destination.
Fox No Items Final Destination. Yeah, that's how it is. That's like Baby Park. I have a love-hate relationship with Baby Park. Ooh. But I love it.
What?
I love it and I hate it. I love it, but also it's extremely chaotic. So that's what I don't like about it. So I'm like, this is just chaos. Also, I'd be an idiot to not mention Coconut Mall. So I'll say Coconut Mall.
The freak out. Shout the freak out.
Oh, yeah. Very excited for Mario Kart World and to see how that works. And how it's gonna be. Also, Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road is the best Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Truly. That's the one that's like galaxy based, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's heavily based off of Super Mario Galaxy. You've got the little star bits everywhere.
And you like land on the moon, right? And you like,
I think the one where you land on the moon is DS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
DS or 7, one of the two. 7 is where you land on the moon.
Okay.
Yeah. For 3DS.
So close for 3DS.
Very close. Yeah. This is very fun. You know what, listeners? We're less than a month away from the Switch 2. Tell us who are you planning on maining in Mario Kart World?
Yeah.
Who is that? Who are you going to stick to your usual main that may or may not be there if you're a Funky Kong enjoyer like me? Or are you going to try one of these new characters that they're throwing in there? Because they're throwing in everybody.
Literally, you can be a dolphin, so.
You can be a dolphin and ride the dolphin bike, and I think that's great. I think that's great and fun.
That's what I called with the Wiggler the Abomination, and it's fun.
Listen, there was a brief time on Mario Kart Online where there was Wiggler Wednesdays, and everyone would hop online for a couple hours, and it was required. Like there was a social contract that you would play as Wiggler with the Wiggler bike, and you. And if the track where the Wigglers run around and try to mess you up was on there, everybody voted for it.
Yeah.
So that was Wiggler Wednesdays. I miss that days.
God.
I miss those days.
We should do that. We'll start that up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Mario Kart World, we're doing Wiggler Wednesdays, everybody. And I want you in the lobby spamming I'm playing with motion controls. Spam it. That's what I do every time. If you're ever in a lobby and you see a me that kind of looks like me and it's spamming I'm playing with motion controls, that's me.
That's Caleb. Shout out Caleb.
That's me. It's funny as hell to me. Oh, man. You know what's also very good? And I wish it was some Mario Kart music, but Nintendo are cowards and don't want to include real music. It's Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat off the album Smoke 'em If You Got 'em.
Yo, you should smoke them if you got them, and you should rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and also gives us a thumbs up on the YouTube. That would be pretty poggers of you.
Smash that like, smash that subscribe, get in the comments.
All of it. Get in the
all
comments.
of it. If you want to email us your Mario Kart main or your Smash main, because I feel like we're maybe not too far away from a new Smash. Maybe in the next few years, we'll see. We will see. Email us at Junkhouse.
Sakurai's been working on Air Ride 2. He doesn't have time.
I know, and he's only got a few months to perfect it, so we'll see what happens. But that email is junkhousemmailbox@gmail.com. It feels weird coming out of my mouth instead of Cordell's.
Well, as we say
and
every week. Yeah. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
It's a psychobilly freak out.